Hi and welcome to this week's SCC Online Weekly Rewind episode. We are back with some really interesting stories and winners of this week's SCC Online quiz. So stay tuned and catch it all. In the top story of this week, the Bombay High Court granted bail to 3 accused persons in the infamous Mumbai Cruise Drugs Case, wherein Aryan Khan, Arbaz merchant and Munmun Dhamecha were accused for offence under the NDPS Act. The court laid down 14 bail conditions, which you can read on the SCC Online blog. Let's start with the Supreme Court updates. The 3-judge bench of the Supreme Court has appointed an expert committee to look into the truth or falsity of the allegations in the Pegasus spyware case, taking into account the public importance and the alleged scope and the nature of the large-scale violation of the fundamental rights of the citizens of the country. The Pegasus suite of spywares, being produced by an Israeli technology firm, can allegedly be used to compromise the digital devices of an individual through zero-click vulnerabilities, that is, without requiring any action on the part of the target of the software. The extremely powerful software is sold only to certain undisclosed governments, and reports indicate that individuals from nearly 45 countries are suspected to have been affected. The court said that it was an extremely uphill task to find and select experts who are free from prejudices, are independent and competent, but it eventually appointed the committee headed by former Supreme Court Judge Justice R.V. Ravindran and highly qualified technical member. Read the details about all the members of the committee on the SCC Online blog. In a major relief to advocate Yatin Oza, the Supreme Court has temporarily restored the senior designation for a period of 2 years from 1st January 2022. On 21st March 2020, Oza wrote a letter to the Chief Justice of India making serious allegations against a senior-most judge of the Gujarat High Court in his capacity as President of the Bar Association. He then circulated the letter in the Bar Association's WhatsApp group after calling the High Court as a gambler's den in a press conference. Oza was then stripped of his senior advocate designation. Holding that the High Court would be well within its rights to withdraw the indulgence, the court said that it was giving Oza a last chance by providing a window of 2 years to show that he truly means what he has assured the court. In a case where the single judge of Karnataka High Court had termed persons committing suicide a weakling and also made observations on how the behavior of the deceased before he committed suicide was not that of a person suffering from mental health issues, the Supreme Court has held that such observations describing the manner in which a depressed person ought to have behaved deeply diminishes the gravity of mental health issues. The High Court had judged the deceased for attending relatives' marriage in a different town and interacting with friends and relatives, and had said that all such actions were that of a normal person and not of a person under severe duress. The High Court had also diminished the gravity of deceased's mental health on the ground that he had taken considerable time to write a 12 pages long suicide note. On this, the Supreme Court said that individual personality differences manifest as a variation in the behavior of people, and that the mental health of a person cannot be compressed into a one-size-fits-all approach. Now let's start with the High Court updates. Addressing the issue of the growing menace of job racketing and tackling the unemployment problem, the Madras High Court suggested the central and state government to promote entrepreneurs and create self-employment opportunities for youth so that the future of this country can be safeguarded from falling prey to such money-mongering vultures. The court was hearing a petition relating to a case where fake interview and appointment letters were being prepared with an intention to defraud innocent public for making unlawful gain. A detailed report can be followed on the SCC Online blog. Another interesting matter from the Kerala High Court came up, wherein an allegation was made with regard to commission of an offence under Section 138 of the Negotiable Instruments Act, wherein the trial court had acquitted the respondent accused on the sole ground that the subject cheque was drawn in favour of Lakshmi Finance and not Messrs Lakshmi Finance. On hearing the matter, the court expressed that the alphabets M/S, which is short form for Messrs, is normally a salutation intended to refer to a group of unincorporated persons such as a partnership firm. The absence of such salutation while drawing the cheque by the respondent accused cannot be a ground for the accused to be acquitted. Whether World Bank is a government agency or not. Delhi High Court, while deciding this issue, answered in negative and opined that World Bank or any of the other international bodies which have proceeded to debar the petitioner in the case cannot be considered as a government agency. This is for the reason that none of the international bodies are bound by any directions issued by the Government of India. In an unfortunate case, noting the allegations against an employer with regard to sexual harassment of a woman, the Delhi High Court expressed that instead of providing assistance to the aggrieved woman in prosecuting her complaint of sexual harassment, the respondent has been opposing her tooth and nail and has even terminated her services pending the inquiry before the local committee. Expressing its opinion on the jurisdiction of Internal Complaints Committee, the court added that since the secretary was the employer for the purpose of the act, the complaint of the said employer would not lie to the internal committee but shall only lie to the local committee. Moving on to the legislation updates. The Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has notified draft rules for safety of children below 4 years. The draft rules recommends for children below 4 years, safety harness shall be used for attaching the child to the driver of the motorcycle. It also provides that the driver must ensure that the child pillion passenger aged between 9 months and 4 years must wear his or her own crash helmet which fits his or her head or wear bicycle helmet till such time that the specifications are prescribed by the Bureau of Indian Standards under the Bureau of Indian Standards Act 2016. The draft rules also ensures that speed of the motorcycle with the child up to age 4 years being carried as a pillion shall not be more than 40 km per hour. The central government notified Electricity Rules 2021. The rules provide that a must-run power plant shall not be subjected to curtailment or regulation of generation or supply of electricity on account of merit order dispatch or any other commercial consideration. It also provides that in the event of a curtailment of supply from a must-run power plant, compensation shall be payable by the procurer to the must-run power plant at the rate specified in the agreement for purchase or supply of electricity. The Ministry of Labour and Employment has declared the services engaged in the banking industry, which is covered under the Industrial Disputes Act 1947, to be a public utility service for a period of 6 months with effect from October 21st, 2021. The International Financial Services Centres Authority has issued the International Financial Services Centres Authority Registration of Insurance Business Regulations 2021. The objective is to put in place the process of registration and operations of insurer and reinsurer in an international financial services centre under regulatory purview of the International Financial Services Centres Authority Act 2019. Read more about the registration process at the SCC online blog. Now coming to the most interesting part that you all have been waiting for. This week we had asked the articles section on SCC online web edition is categorized under how many subcategories? Name them all. So the answer was 5, and the categories are law review journals, blogs, reports, collected essays and Tagore law lectures. The winners for this week are Shovit Betal and R.K. Raghul. So congratulations to both of you. Thank you everyone for watching this episode. Please stay tuned to our channel to watch more such videos. And this is Devika Sharma signing off for this week.